Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to replace your clutch plates on your Beta 125R200RR, model years 2019 and newer. It's a straightforward process, and Beta recommends doing this every 60 hours, or if you feel your clutch slipping, you definitely want to get this done. To get this done, we have some common hand tools, including a torque wrench, metric sockets and Allens. I also have combo wrenches, a pry bar, a digital caliper, and to remove that clutch hub nut, we're using a 27mm socket with our impact gun, but Beta does make a clutch holding tool if you want to remove that by hand. Now, as far as parts go, we've got these friction discs from Pro X, we've got contact cleaner, and anytime you're putting new plates in, you want to have some new oil. So we've got that 1050. We're also using medium strength thread lock, and we also sourced 2 additional bolts. So these are M6 by 25mm long, and they're going to help with assembly of the clutch. Other than that, we're using safety glasses, rubber gloves, rags, and a drain pan. Start out by removing your skid plate. Then we're going to wipe off this drain bolt underneath. We're going to use our 13mm socket to remove it. We've got our drain pan underneath the bike. I'm going to clean off this drain plug. You want to inspect that O-ring and make sure it's in good condition. Next, we'll clean the sealing surface, reinstall the drain plug, and torque it to spec. Then we're using a little contact cleaner and a rag to clean up any residual oil. So on this brake pedal, we've got that spring that I want to disconnect, and you might be able to get this pedal far enough down to pull the cover off, but I find that it's a little bit easier to loosen up this pedal and remove some of the parts. So I've got that cover. I'm going to loosen up those caliper bolts. We've got an 8mm Allen right here, and I'm using a 14mm combo wrench on the back. And I'll pull that bolt all the way out, and then the lever's going to sit down here. That's going to make it a lot easier to remove that cover. Now for the cover, we've got this hydraulic line coming down, and I'm going to hang it up with a little bit of safety wire once it's off, but to remove it, I'm using a 5mm Allen and 8mm socket. And clearly, you want to pay attention to which bolts come out of where. There's those. Remove this cover. And then before I pop this cover off, I'm going to try to clean it up just a little bit. And then for the cover, you have this pry tab, or you could use a soft face mallet and tap out on the corner of the cover to break it free. Or you can pull the clutch lever to remove the cover. Now with this, you don't want to push your clutch too far. You don't want to pop this piston out. I'm actually going to push it in just a little bit. That's good right there. And then I'm going to remove the spring from this, and I'm going to hang this out of the way with that safety wire. I'm just going to use a clean rag on the inside, just so I don't knock any dirt inside of there. So right here, you're going to have a push rod and throw out bearing, and it's stuck on ours. I'm just going to leave it for now. I'm going to crack all 5 of these bolts loose, but I'm going to leave them installed. So just go a couple turns. You want to do that evenly. And it looked like that loosened up our assembly. So I'm going to go ahead and remove it. Now the next step is to loosen up your clutch hub nut. And on this, we are actually going to use an impact to do that. And pay attention to that washer as it comes off. The convex side, that's facing out. We've got one more washer behind there. Then from here, we're going to remove the clutch assembly. So pay attention on the back side, there's going to be some bearings and washers and all that kind of stuff. So we've got that collar on there and the bearings inside. And then we can do the actual clutch plate replacement on the bench. Okay, from here, this is what's different about this bike from some of the other ones. If I flip this over, I'm going to be able to remove the clutch basket from the hub, and all the plates are going to stay with that hub. So this pressure plate sits inside of the basket itself. Now, I've got this basket off, so we might as well look at it. You can see right here on these clutch fingers, you can see some marks from the clutch plates They're not real deep, they're pretty smooth, but if they are deep, it's gonna create a notchy feel and your clutch plates can actually stick, and that's when it's hard to shift into gear and shift out of gear, and you pull the clutch in and it still wants to creep forward. That indicates either grooves here or grooves in that hub. So pay attention to that. This one's looking good. Gear's looking good. You've got dampers on the backside. If there's a lot of play in there, that means those dampers need to be replaced. Other than that, look down inside of here where that bearing rides. Check for any scoring or signs of damage. This one's looking like it's in good shape, so we're gonna reuse it. And if it's real dirty, make sure you get it sprayed off. And right behind there, we've got that washer. Set that right there so I don't forget it. And now I'm gonna flip this back over. I'm gonna remove these screws evenly. There's springs underneath there. So I'll go ahead and remove this out of the way. I'm gonna remove the pressure plate. These are the splines inside the pressure plate where the steel plates ride. So again, if you see grooves, you wanna get that replaced. You also wanna check this surface where the friction disc rides. If it's really grooved out and not smooth like this one, or if it's discolored, if you see signs of bluing on anything in here, you wanna get it replaced. So these plates, they actually don't look bad. So usually a burned clutch, you can smell it and the discs will have that discoloration and signs of bluing, but they look all right. We're still gonna show you how to do the process though, and I'm gonna pull these apart and pay attention to them as they come apart. You can also look at the tabs on these friction discs. When they get worn out, you can see there'll be some material that pulls to one side. Usually you're gonna see wear in the basket if that has happened, but when that does happen, again, these can hang up. So these are looking real good. I'm just gonna go ahead and soak my new plates in some oil. We'll get them installed. Be aware though, on the 125s, so I took those two steel discs off first. On the 125s, you're gonna have a combination of aluminum and steel. So pay attention to the order they come off and reinstall them in the same way. And the other thing you wanna pay attention to is a lot of times these steels, they're gonna have a sharp and a rounded edge. Might be kind of hard to see, but this end that my thumb is rubbing feels a little more rounded. The other side's a little more square. The square side is gonna be facing out once we have this all assembled. So last, let's take a look at the pressure plate. Same thing where the friction disc rides, that's looking pretty good, so we know we're okay. Now a few more things. You want to inspect these springs, make sure that they're not broken. You can measure the length to see if they're worn out or not and compare that measurement to the spec in your book. Get them replaced if you need to. Take a look at these bearings, make sure it's in good condition and that you don't see any damage there. Same thing with the collar. Check for any damage or grooves. All this stuff's looking good. So right here, I've got some of the new oil, whatever type of transmission oil you like to use. I'm gonna soak these plates in it. As long as they have oil on them, they should be fine. So those are looking good. I'm gonna rotate this back over. And as you take this apart, our clutch is real clean. So I'm just gonna flip things back over exactly how they were. But if you have material all over these, you definitely wanna take each one out, keep them in order and clean them off. So I'm gonna start with a friction, and we've got one of these steels, another friction, and another steel. We'll just repeat that process until it's all on. You might know if you've worked on other bikes, sometimes the friction discs are different one to another, but these ones are all gonna be the same. And then you'll notice we actually have an extra friction that came in this kit. This is gonna fit multiple bikes, so we're just not gonna use that. We've matched the same exact things that came out of the bike. So these two pieces, the pressure plate and the hub, they're actually indexed. So we have this little punch mark right here. That is gonna line up with our mark at the top of this. So we'll go ahead and line those up and then make sure that these little tabs line up with these grooves. So everything sits nice and tight together. Now I can reinstall all these springs. Now we can install the spring plate. I've sourced 2 M6 by 25 millimeter bolts, and we're just going to get all this stuff started with these longer bolts. We're just going a few threads by hand. You want everything loose enough that you can move these plates. So these are in a few threads, everything's staying together. I'm going to call that good for right now. And I'm going to get my basket, and we need to drop this in, but you don't want to forget this washer right here. So we'll set that in there, and again, just rotate the plates. If you need to move these one way or another, go ahead and do that. Keep in mind there will be a little up and down play with them as well. So we've got that right there. We're all the way in. Now it looks like we're fully bottomed out. Now back to the right side of the engine, we're going to lube up this collar. Slide that on the main shaft, and we've got this bearing. You're going to want to make sure it has some lube on it as well. And then to install the clutch basket, a couple things you need to pay attention to. One, you've got a gear going to it's going to mate with the primary gear, so that has to be lined up. You've got splines inside of here that need to line up with the shaft, and then some models, they're going to have that kickstart gear that you need to line up. So you might kind of have to rotate everything until it's fully bottomed out. And then right here, we're going to tighten these bolts down just a little bit. We're going to install 3 of the original bolts now. I can remove these 2 longer ones, install the remaining 2 shorter. We're going to torque these to spec by hand. We don't want to use the impact and strip them out. Now for this next part, what we're going to have to do, we want to make sure these threads are nice and clean because we are going to use a little bit of Loctite. So I'm going to use a little contact cleaner. And we're going to do the same thing for both washers and our nut. I'm going to clean out some of this old stuff. This is just medium strength thread lock. The stuff we are using is red, but again, it's just medium strength. I'm going to get this started and get it pretty close just by hand. And I'm going to check that torque by reinstalling the brake assembly. I'm going to put it in gear, a higher gear, and hold the brake while I torque it. Then from here, I'm taking brake stuff back off, and I'm going to install the clutch cover. You just want to make sure that seal is in good condition. Ours is looking good, but if it's not, definitely get it replaced. And again, we've pressed in that slave cylinder just a little bit. And just before I set this on, I need to install this push rod throwout bearing assembly, just like this. So that's all good. And if you want to apply a little bit of anti-seize to these dowels so they don't stick again, it's not a bad idea. And I've got this M6 bolt at the top with the 8mm head. Just going to thread that in place. Then we'll install that protective cover. Don't forget this spring. That needs to be on there before the cover goes on. And we've got a long bolt going across the bottom. Long one going on that front side. Shorter one towards the back. Now for the brake, we have that spring pivot bolt and with the nut on the back side, 2 master cylinder bolts, and then we've got that one going into the plastic. From here we can go ahead and fill the engine up with 720 milliliters of 10W50 oil. After that, we can reinstall the filler cap and our skid plate. And that's it for replacing the clutch on your Beta 125 or 200 RR. If you have any questions, leave those down in the comments. And if you want to see more helpful content like this, you're going to want to subscribe to our channel. We've got The parts we use today, they're available on our website. You can just click the link in the description below. We offer free shipping on orders over $75, so take advantage of that. I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain ATVMC. Thanks for watching.